Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Chima and you're live on the Boy Network. Today, we're going to be talking about something that gets we guys very excited. We're going to be talking about the issue of sports. Sports, I mean, as a football fan, I won't want to lie and say that I used to follow the rest, but I'm a die-hard football fan. I mean, you can say I'm literally wearing a jersey on this show. So yeah, we're talking about the issue of sports, and I have my guys with me. I have Kyrian and I have Kolade. We're going to be doing justice to this issue and to see how sports, how why it's important, how it's important in the lives of men, and yeah, how it can help us become better. My guys, how you doing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm great.
I can tell. I mean, you are currently enjoying as an Arsenal fan the best run of form you guys have been in. Nice one. How fun now, Kyrian? European champion. Woo woo.
Yes, we're due to the next round.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we're talking about sports and being Nigerians and being men, we grew up a lot around football, basketball, athletics. In schools, we had inter-house sports, you get. So everybody wanted to participate and all of that. So tell me, what has been your experience with sports? How did you get into it? How have you enjoyed it so far?
For me personally, I was born into a family that loves sport. Personally, my mom used to do sport. My dad was very athletic as well, so it was only normal for me to pick up the pace. Unfortunately for me, I grew up as an Arsenal fan.
You say unfortunately.
Yeah, I grew up as an Arsenal fan, and I followed it all through. But one thing I've loved about sport is the loyalty. It's the loyalty that I've learned all this while. We've been playing shit for like 16 years. But I've been there. This same loyalty has helped me in relationships. Believe it. When you stick with Arsenal for so long, you believe anything can happen. And that's just what I
He says the suffering is real. No worry, joy comes in the morning. So tell us from your angle now. So how did you get into sports? How has it been for you so far?
Yes, so my father watched football occasionally.
So you too, you're a football fan?
Yes, 100%. Just
you don't follow any other sports?
And Nigeria and all of that, no.
Okay,
I'm
no.
majorly football.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to an all-boys school, right? So
Standard. There's no choice.
GS1, you're playing GS1A versus GS1B. You understand? So you have to love it from the get-go.
So that's what helped you develop your passion for it and
Exactly.
everything. All right, so in your daily life, how much of an influence does it have? I mean, because football is an ongoing thing, there is arguments. Now we're limiting it to football because that's what's common between the three of us. There are the arguments, there are the discussions, there's transfer news, there's all of that. How much of your daily life does it, have a hold on?
Okay, so everybody needs an escape from the reality that is Nigeria. Nigeria is hard. You understand? You're at work, you have all this pressure on you, and you just want to escape. A lot of us, we like to daydream about stuff just to escape.
I know. I think about the football money.
Exactly. What is the best thing to daydream about on a Tuesday? I'm sorry, you're a Barcelona fan.
Waka.
On a Tuesday afternoon when work is all stressful and everything, what is the best thing to look forward to? Champions League at night. You understand? So that's how much influence
It's an Arsenal.
sports. He's an Arsenal fan, he can't relate. So that's how much influence sports has, and sometimes you daydream your team going unbeaten, even though it's not possible. You daydream your team going unbeaten in
Arsenal
the
did
league.
it. We did it.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. So, I mean, it's what most of us think about, almost all the time when we're less busy, when the world is not trying to get us and all of that.
Yeah, so from your own angle, how much of your hold does it have in your daily life? I mean, I know you actually work in sports because, so how does it?
I would say quite more than the average person because this is what I do as a person. Forget the fact that I went to Unilag and I studied geology. Football is what I love and this is my passion, this is what I'm following. So for me, if I check my phone, let's say the average person checks his phone about 4 times in an hour. If I check my phone 4 times, 3 of those times
are football related.
With football, something, a notification or something coming up. You know how people can get when their team lose on the weekend. You know how bad it can affect your home.
Possibly the whole week.
There are some guys have problems with their relationship because when they are watching games, their girlfriends cannot call them because they won't pick. I know several people, and I know someone, I won't mention his name because he might be watching this. He once didn't eat because Arsenal lost it.
Happy for him, man.
He didn't eat for almost 2 days. He might be watching this episode, so I will do him the favor of not mentioning his name. But sport is not just sport; it's a culture, especially in Nigeria. I like to say there's a research that says we are among the top 4 countries that follow football in the world, alongside the UK. Obviously, even if you look at it personally, I would like to say we are more passionate than these UK fans in quote. I mean, how many look at you now? You're putting on a PSG jersey, even though
I've never been to France.
So like sports has a major hold on all of us, and it's just something that. And the good thing is, sports is dynamic.
Yeah.
It can never run out of content.
Never.
If something comes up, this guy now, his club might become ownerless. They are struggling and looking for
from
buyers.
one billionaire
So
to the
there's
next.
always,
Okay.
There's always something.
Don't worry.
to keep
It will
an
be
eye
Leeds
on.
United case for now. All right. So yeah, we've spoken about how it affects our daily life. I mean, it's another thing about sports is the fact that sports in general, not just football, is the fact that it bonds a lot of people, and because we men are so into it, we've created friendships because of sports and everything. So yeah, how many friendships? How has it helped your relationship?
Okay, first of all, if you're not into sports, it's unlikely that we'll be friends for very long, because I mean it's usually the center of our discussions. I mean, I can imagine meeting my friend and I can't insult him because
His club lost or something.
Yes, I need to be able to insult him. Do you understand? So
That banter is necessary.
It is absolutely necessary, because I mean, you rub it in my face when you win also. So it's most of my friendships, most of my friends, most of the people that I interact with, they are into sports as well. And even if it's to a lesser degree than I am, you can still talk to them about it, and the conversation will still flow and all of that. So that's it affects almost all the friendships I have.
How about your own end too?
Yeah, almost the same with what you said. But you know what I like the most about sports and football? If you look at women in general, I don't mean to generalize, but I would try not to be very specific. If you look at women, when random women meet, they always try to look, okay, what do we have in common? What can I try to say to? But guys, we don't need to think much.
Sports will always.
I came into this place and I met this man, a Chelsea fan, and we just started talking. I don't know him. I didn't even know his name. When I stayed on campus in Unilag, they were guys for 4 months. I didn't know their name. We just talk about football. How far waiting Chelsea play, we banter each other.
We meet
and
in
the
viewing
relationship
center,
keeps on going. We meet in viewing centers, common rooms. Keep on talking. That's how sports can bring guys together. In this era of social media, if you go online and say Cristiano Ronaldo is better than
Pum!
I don't care what you think. In the next 10 minutes,
you have
your comment session. You can get friends. You can also get enemies. So
Strong
that's just how football is.
Man, it really helps bonding. It really helps create relationships. Like you guys said, it's also a very great icebreaker, because there are a lot of things to start conversations with, but it's always easier when there's something that is common. And when you bring sports into the conversation, it's always common. All right, may we take a small break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more on this issue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. My name is Chima, and I'm with Kyrian and Kolade. And we've been talking about how sports help men bond, how sports form the best of friendship amongst men. So now we're going to talk about a part of sports that is, can be problematic at times, the fandom part of it. I mean, Chelsea fan here, Arsenal fan here, Barcelona fan here. There are some people who take these things seriously. I mean, you've seen pictures of people that everywhere in their room is Barcelona. I've seen people who got married in Arsenal jersey. It was so weird. Like, bro, your wedding, you force your wife wear jersey. Why? Why that? It doesn't make any sense. So come on, some people take their fandom above and beyond, and it gets problematic at times. So what level do you think people should get to with their support, their fandom of sports?
In everything, there should always be a boundary, and finding boundaries in every aspect of life can be difficult. Football, I don't know, in Nigeria, since this is a Nigerian show, I'll talk about Nigeria. There are three aspects of fandom that I don't think I can ever comprehend. That is BB Niger, and the old FC, Whiskey FC, I don't think I will ever be able to understand those three. But football is very peculiar because the emotions that run high with football is very unique, and football is very special in the sense that it applies to all age ranges. Football, and a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 80-year-old has something to say about his favorite football team. And just recently, 2 weeks ago, March 5, there was a news in Mexico that fans literally fought outside and left 26 injured, 2 dead, and I think 14 people arrested. Why were they fighting? Just because their team lost outside, and one insulted the other about
the loss,
and the fight broke out over a little football match. So I don't know, boundaries are things that should be very important, and in Nigeria, I think we are also we still have that boundary when it comes to football, but just in a certain time, I think would be something we have to curb around, especially the racism aspect. We are Nigerians here, so I wouldn't like to say we will be victims of racism, but
it has actually even ethnicity issues. Yeah,
of recent, because I'm a writer and I see all these things. I'm shocked to see that most of the people behind these racist comments are actually blacks against blacks.
Imagine.
So I don't understand how we can actually curb this part, but it's something that must be.
Do you have any ideas, Kyrian?
Well, these extremities, they are always going to be there because for every 10 smart people you meet, one person
is Olodo.
Exactly. There will always be that one Olodo.
But the problem with it is that, one bad egg, they spoil everything.
Yes.
So that Olodo the quick spread, bro.
Yes, I understand.
Even Chelsea fans. you know, there's a common notion that when
Chelsea fans, that
happens to the price of
boss, it always goes up.
I'm sorry, it is wrong. If you're watching this, it is absolutely wrong.
How is it
you
wrong?
have classy Chelsea fans. Okay. And so there are always extremities in almost everything in life, and it's no different in football. Like you said, emotions always run high, and it leads to one thing leads to another. Your team loses, and if your team wins, you're very happy. Mm-hmm. If your team loses, you understand. You're an Arsenal fan. So when you're not someone who properly checks himself, it can lead to disastrous results, and it's never good for anybody. So we should always try to promote peace. Racism is one angle that he came from, and another is proper anger management. At the end of the day, it's just a sport, and it's supposed to bring joy in our lives, not cause death and all sorts of negative things.
The extremities part of it is, I don't know what to say really, because I feel like I have to dwell a bit on this issue. So imagine having to land yourself in the hospital and then doctor asks you what happened. How did you get and you say
an Arsenal fan insulted
you. Come on.
They should flog you first.
Literally, if I was the doctor, I would flog you first. So if you want to be extreme about a lot of things, I'm not condoning it, but it may be understandable. But a game that they can say, you know what, we are banning football today, and then you go not die finish because of ball. Man, it's serious. But looking at it, sports fandom, it also has its good side, a lot of good sides, a lot of bad sides. So let's talk about some of the good sides. Bonding is one of them. We said it at the beginning. What else do you think people can benefit from following sports, being a part of the whole life and culture?
Yeah, so of course, I think I need to dwell a bit on the bonding part.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge chunk of growing up as a man, in quotes. There are lots of females. I have a lot of female friends actually that follow football and all of that. But sports in this world is predominantly
a male thing.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it plays a huge role in how you grow up. You learn, what a man should know when you're sitting, in a bar perhaps, or even at home, watching a game, and maybe at halftime you're receiving one or two instructions. You guys talk about so many things. You pick up on things that you would normally not pick up when you're, in another kind of setting, right? So it forms you. It forms how you should think as a man, and who you should be. It forms your entire identity.
It also helps you know your circle, actually, the people who get sense.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we've talked about how sports can help men. We talked about the bonding part of it. So what exactly is your argument for why men should consider being sports fans for their development?
Yes. So you need to, in the society generally, that's why you usually pick up cues on how to behave, right? And it's important that you form this bond with people that you trust, right? And more often than not, the people that you trust as a man, right, would be interested in sports. So you might not have a lot of time in the society to talk about, because of work, because of school, because of one thing or another.
Well, you always catch up when you're watching football.
When you're watching football, when you get together for your classical, you catch up. You can easily have conversations, both regarding the match itself, regarding work problems, and a lot of that. So it's usually, very therapeutic. You understand, watching the game with the boys, essentially. So it's something that is intangible and very, very important. To me anyway.
Yeah, well, that's to you. Some people don't see it as such, but it's an argument that we're trying to make sure that they do it. So what's your argument? How do you think people can, tap into this community that is sports, especially as men?
For me, it's about sense of belonging and self-esteem. I would like to say, when you're supporting any team at all, it helps your self-esteem in a certain way. Take a look at this guy. He's a Chelsea fan. They are the current European champions. Anywhere
shoulder pad on high.
Anyway, they describe themselves as European champions. It's a certain good feel-good factor being a Chelsea fan in this current era. Meanwhile, as an Arsenal fan, those days I used to, but now when I go out,
you go they calm down because you don't know who be who.
So I just keep it low key. I'm an Arsenal fan, Then for sense of belonging, you want to feel like you're part of a community, like you're part of Arsenal fans somewhere. You can say something that people can relate to, as a whole. And trust me, all these arguments, they also help you. Even me as an Arsenal fan in secondary school, I've always had to defend my team several times, and it has helped my self-esteem, whether I like it or not. And since we lost the Champions League final against Barca, I believe there's nothing.
There's nothing that can shake you again.
Exactly. There's nothing you say to me that can shake me since we lost that final. So for me, it's about sense of belonging, helping your self-esteem, and just having something to get away and where you are just free.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, guys, for doing this. We've had quite a discussion, man. I'm very sure that people watching will, resonate a lot with what we've said. So far, so good. We've talked about how much sport is important to development as males. It helps us get into the right circles, helps us to form our argumentative skills, help us to form our esteem skills and all of that. So it's important, even if you don't like it at all. Give it a try or just check it out, and at least you understand by now why a lot of us love sports. Thank you so much once again, Kolade. Thank you, Kyrian, for doing this with me. And thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of The Boy Network. I'll be seeing you in another one shortly, but until then, stay jiggy. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dominican Media Presents. And you can follow The Boy Network on Twitter at @TheBoyNetwork_, @TheBoyNetwork_, where you can get more information on the show. Follow me on my socials as well at Chima_. Very easy to pronounce, I'm sure. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Look at you. Look at truth between Arsenal and Chelsea fans. I did it on my show.